Zach Taylor and his coaching staff trying to figure out, Doc, what they're going to do. You got your hands full playing Buffalo, even if you have all hands on deck. And both teams have some key injuries. Von Miller's out for the year. We know that. But now all of a sudden, another offensive lineman potentially goes down, and you're looking at 3 brand-new starters from where they were just 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's tough. I thought they'd be okay, even against the Ravens last weekend, because Adeniji and the other guy, Sharping, were veterans. They've been through this before, albeit as backups. Jackson Carman, if Jackson Carman has to play left tackle, along with the other 2 guys not being there, if they're not going to play, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you scheme around that. They've done a good job of it, doing obvious things. Quick throws, short drops, throwing to the backs, not a lot deep. And the formula on how to beat the Bengals is pretty obvious. They're going to score touchdowns, but make them take some time doing it. And that means playing your safeties deep and keeping everything in front of them. If you're going to be without 3 of your starting offensive linemen, you may not have time to throw deep no matter what they do against you defensively. So that's a tough one. I thought losing Jonah Williams, and he hasn't been great, but he's been okay. At that particular position, left tackle, I thought that was a huge injury for them.
Well, I mean, I brought it up before you came on. You're spot on. About Jonah Williams has not been great, but the injury he suffered the other night, a dislocated kneecap, he's had that injury already this season and did not miss a single game. So, I guess, Zach Taylor made the comments yesterday that both of them are kind of a week-by-week sort of proposition, him and Karras. Look, there are moments, and we have seen them, where young men, most of the sports we cover involve young men, have an opportunity in life. And for Carman, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. By all accounts, he's a really smart kid. He's a sweet kid. He's a good kid. He's musically inclined. He has some depth to him, all of those kinds of things. And those are all wonderful things in real life. He had an opportunity to be a starter for this team last year and was forced ultimately to be a starter due to injuries, but then he gets benched and he did not play well, and he got beat out by a rookie for the left guard spot this year. He was in better shape this year. But this is now, to me, the opportunity of potentially a lifetime and a career-changing moment for Jackson Carman. Would you agree with that?
Well, to a certain extent. That assumes that his talent is better than he's shown. If that's the case, then it's a matter of diligence and effort and all the intangible stuff. On the other hand, maybe this is who he is. I don't know. I'm not that smart. I don't think they drafted him that high because they didn't think he could play. So you got to believe there's some talent there that just hasn't been evident in the first couple of years. But you're right. If he can play well and at least hold down the fort, and they go for 3 more games and he does each of those 3 games, sure. That couldn't help but help him. I mean, again, it's a question, is the talent there? And if the talent is there, can it be focused? And if the talent is there and it can be focused, then maybe the loss of Williams for however long it might be, might not be that great.
The flip side of all of this is the fact that the Bills have a quarterback who is a dynamic player, capable of putting up huge numbers and does in the pass game, the run game, the whole 9 yards. I mean, he's an unbelievably talented player. He's also very sloppy with the ball. He leads the NFL in turnovers. He had 3 more, 2 picks and a fumble last week. And the Buffalo offensive line, Doc, allowed 7 sacks in that game. If there is one thing that we've talked about this team this year that gets overlooked so often, it is this defense. They just find a way to make plays. And I thought last week guys like Osai and Carter and some others who we've not talked about much at all came up big for this defense.
Yeah, no question, and they got to do it again. What was really neat, I thought about the whole Hubbard run, besides the Hubbard run, what was the fact that it was kind of a team play. You had 2 or 3 other guys who helped make that play go, and people around here will complain about the fact that the Bengals are disrespected when it comes to things like Pro Bowl nominations or All-Pro votes. I think this is a really good team defense. I think they play as well together as any defense I've seen this year. And that play that won the game the other day was kind of a tribute to that, because probably 4 guys had a hand in that. And maybe 5 if you count Huntley trying to go over the top instead of down low as he was told to do.
So at the end of the day, you look at this game this weekend, and I know you're not necessarily in the prediction business. There are a lot of people, I mean, the line keeps getting higher and higher and higher for whatever that means. It's all the way up to 5. Buffalo is a favorite. What we know about the Bengals right now, you believe they can go in and steal that one?
Hang on just 1 second, and I'll give you my answer.
There you go. There you
Burrow
go. Look at this. He comes ready with the orange shades. Man.
I must tell you, I'm not a complete homer. My son got these for me for my birthday. So there you go.
That's big time.
That said, never say never when Joe Burrow's involved. It's nice, though, that they'll finally have to beat a good quarterback. I've harped on this all year long. I think it's pretty significant. If you go look down the schedule and the quarterbacks they've played to get here, I think other than Lamar Jackson in the first game and Patrick Mahomes, they haven't played a good quarterback. In fact, most of the guys they played are backups. So we'll see. I mean, to get to the Super Bowl, theoretically, they're going to have to beat Josh Allen, Mahomes, and whoever the NFC throws out. Could be Hurts, it could be Purdy, whoever. They're going to face good quarterbacks. And I like this defense. I think you're right about the defense. I'd also like to see them do well against a good QB. And that's what they got coming up this weekend. Can they win? Sure. There's no reason why they can't win as long as Burrow is playing. They can beat anybody. This one's going to be tough for sledding, and it scares me that the line is moving up, although it's just designed to get more people to bet. But nevertheless, the Sharps generally know what they're talking about. It's amazing how right they are most of the time.
Boy, how about Doc? How about Doc today? He's got the chain going. He's got the orange shades going. Yeah, slip those back on. Doc, the only thing you're missing, and look, I know you are not averse to every now and again enjoying a cigar. I mean, you're inside the house, so you're not going to fire it up, but that's all you're missing.
Yeah, you're right about that. I don't smoke $25 cigars like Burrow does. Not Joe Mixon though. I got my peeps down at where Joe Mixon buys his cigars. He smokes $7 or $8 cigars,
Perfect.
Which is in my league. I hire him for that.
Right.
But I don't have those $25 stogies like Joe Burrow does.
Well, next week, if the Bengals win, Doc, next week you've got to set the computer up outside if it's warm enough. And if the Bengals win, you got to have the shades, you got to have the chain, and you got to fire up the cigar. $7, $8
right.
Cigar.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, that's a deal. Doc, thanks for the time, man. Great to see you.
Okay, Thom, you too.
All right, Paul Doherty, kind enough to join us. That's good stuff.